You sit down to take a quick break and suddenly it's 40 minutes later. Your brain feels fried and you're not even really sure what you just looked at. You keep telling yourself you'll just check one thing. You really need to see if there's been an update on TikTok and then Instagram and then Reddit and then Threads. And at that point, you need to start the cycle all over again because there's probably been an update. Maybe you've even caught yourself scrolling while peeing. Been there. If you feel like your phone has more control over you than you do over it, this video is for you. Look, I'm not gonna tell you to delete all your social media accounts or throw your phone into the lake. I love technology. I use it for work, for creativity, for connection, but I also know how easily it can turn into a dopamine slot machine, especially if you struggle with ADHD. And these devices can just hijack your attention. They can fuel your anxiety and leave you feeling even more drained than you did before. So today, I'm gonna walk you through 10 steps that I use to curb my phone addiction. These are gonna be realistic ways to scroll smarter without the shame. Actual tools that are going to help you feel more in control with your phone, to rein in your screen time without relying on willpower alone. So let's get started. Before we dive into the strategies, I do just want to say one thing. If you've been beating yourself up for not being able to stop scrolling, I want you to give yourself a break. You are not lazy, you're not weak or undisciplined. You are up against $1 billion tech industry that has been designed to hijack your brain. The randomness of social media, one second it being a cute dog video, the next it being a gym bro yelling in your face, the next being an absolutely atrocious news story, the next being a get ready with me or $1 million haul. That unpredictability is what makes it so addictive. And the worst part is that it tricks you into thinking you're the problem. You just need more discipline to overcome it. But the truth is, we all need structure. We need tools. And we need to stop thinking that willpower alone is enough. So let's talk about how to work with your brain instead of against it. I just need to say that, and I just want to validate you are so not alone in this experience. I see so many clients for anxiety, depression, nervous system dysregulation, and they all talk about how they feel out of control with their phone. So I know that this is something that's not just a you problem, it's an everyone problem, that we've got to figure out how we can work with this technology that's a part of our life now. So these are 11 strategies that have helped my clients, but also have helped me to regain control and peace with my phone. Let's start with a weirdly effective one. Make your phone give you the ick. Seriously, our phones are designed to be bright and stimulating, very eye-catching that we want to pick them up. Bright colors alone are meant to engage you. Think about the bright red and yellow of a McDonald's sign and how that captures your attention. Your phone is using that same psychology of color, those bright colors, to capture and keep your attention. But if you turn those phone colors off, if you turn your phone into grayscale, suddenly your phone's way less interesting. It becomes dull, flat, and honestly kind of boring to scroll. Here's how you can do it on your iPhone. You're gonna go into your settings, click on accessibility, then click display and text size, and go to color filters. From there, you can toggle on grayscale. I also have it set up that I can triple click on the side button, and that'll toggle between grayscale being on and off. That's really helpful if I'm stuck in a really long scroll session and I just need to get out of it quickly. I'll just toggle on the grayscale and suddenly it's a lot less interesting. You could even make a rule for yourself. Say you're struggling with scrolling at night, especially after 9 p.m. the phone's in grayscale and I can't turn it off until the morning. It's such a simple trick, but it genuinely makes things like Instagram and TikTok feel boring, which is going to be really helpful for getting off your phone. Maybe you've already tried grayscale, or you're sitting here thinking, Dr. Mel, I'm just gonna turn it right back off. That is not enough of a barrier for me to stop using my phone. An app blocker, an app that blocks apps, might be your answer. There are so many apps like this now. There's Opal, there's Jomo, there's Freedom. There's even this thing called a brick that you can buy where you tap your phone and your apps get blocked. I've tried them all, but right now I'm using Jomo, which stands for Joy of Missing Out. I'm really liking it because it has a lot of different customization features. This is not sponsored, by the way, by anybody. Would be nice though. This is just my honest opinion as someone who really uses and needs these apps. So I have mine set to different modes like conscious use, where all of my social media apps are blocked by default, and then I have to go in and open them for, I think it's 1 to 15 minutes you can do, and then it'll block it again. So because I use social media for work, this is helpful. So I can go in, respond to a DM, post, comment, but I'm not spending all day on it, which can be really easy to do if you start off going on it for work and then quickly it becomes just scrolling. Usually I can get done what I need to do in 15 minutes, and if not, I can start another session. But they also have stricter settings, which I have at night. So I have all my social media and also my email. Sometimes I can check my email way more than I need to. I have those apps blocked from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. every day, and that's a strict, I cannot get into it. I also like on this app that whenever you do unlock your apps, it makes you pause for a couple of seconds. It's not an immediate, I can unlock it. Usually it's anywhere from 3 to 15 seconds. So have to sit with it and think, do I really want to go on this app? And sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's just out of habit that I'm holding my thumb over that app. And it gives me a second to check in with myself and kind of define that intention. Because really, app blockers aren't about restriction. They're about creating some friction and a moment of pause. It's a built-in boundary. And for many of us, that pause is just what we need when our fingers are automatically going to open the app. Have you ever noticed you sit down to relax and you end up double screening? You start scrolling on TikTok while you also have Netflix playing in the background. Your brain, so overstimulated because now it's having to process two sets of information at once. Try this instead. You don't have to give up screen time, but make a rule that you're only gonna watch one screen at a time. If you're watching a show or watching a movie, just watch the movie. Put your phone away, close the laptop, close Pinterest on your iPad. If you wanna scroll on TikTok, turn off the TV and just look at your phone. It's the constantly switching attention that is just draining your attention span. And I also find that it makes you enjoy both activities less. It makes the movie less enjoyable, and you also feel kind of icky scrolling on your phone while you're not really paying attention to what's on the TV. I find this rule especially helpful at night. Your nervous system is already drained from the day. It's already been overstimulated and you're trying to unwind. So multitasking with multiple screens is just going to keep it activated. By sticking to the one screen rule, you're going to feel calmer, less anxious, and as a bonus, you're probably going to have way better sleep. This one's not for everyone, but if you happen to have an old iPhone, an old smartphone laying around, turn it into a dumb phone. I had an old iPhone, the camera was broken, so I couldn't turn it in, so I kept it and I just have it on Wi-Fi. I took off all the email, all the social media. I only keep my good apps on there, so I'll have meditation apps, Spotify, things that if I'm gonna be on my phone or if I wanna use technology in a good way, apps that I feel good about using. Honestly, the best of both worlds because I can take it on my walk and listen to a podcast if I want, but I'm not pulling out my phone to scroll, which honestly I was doing sometimes. Sometimes on my lunch break, I like to do legs up the wall and listen to a visualization. I use the Superhuman or Activations app it's called now. And again, it just eliminates that temptation to scroll, but I still get to use the technology that I want to use. This is such a game changer for screen-free breaks that still feel supportive. Honestly, I wish they would bring back iPods. I feel like that was really the best technology. And I'm so sad that it's turned into this all-in-one technology tool. Maybe I should try and find my old iPod. Anyway, the old phone works too. Really helpful if you're trying to disengage from so much of the stimulating apps, but not go full digital detox. You're allowed to keep the parts of tech that really work for your life without costing you your peace. How you start the morning starts the tone for the rest of your day. And grabbing your phone right when you wake up is asking for chaos. Your brain transitions through these different brain waves when it's waking up, from delta to theta to alpha. That dreamy, calm, creative state when you first wake up, that's your alpha and theta waves. It's when your mind processes, imagines, and restores. But the moment that you check your phone, especially if you're checking the news or social media, you skip that time. You jump straight into high alert beta wave mode. Even 30 to 60 minutes phone free in the morning gives your nervous system space to settle. You'll feel more grounded and less reactive all day. For me, because I will feel itchy to grab my phone in the morning, the key to this is charging my phone overnight outside of my bedroom. I'm always adding in barriers for the behaviors I don't want to engage in. So I charge my phone in my office with the door closed. So I have to consciously open the door and go into my office to be able to use my phone in the morning. And usually that's enough friction that I won't do it. If you live in a 2-story building, you can literally charge your phone on the first floor when you sleep on the second floor, or vice versa. Anything that's gonna make it harder to check it when you first wake up. And really check in with how you feel when you don't use your phone first thing in the morning compared to when you do. My hypothesis is that you will have more energy. You're gonna notice that you're able to stay on task better that day. You're gonna find yourself in way less of those scroll spirals on the mornings that you don't check your phone. This is such a simple hack, but it makes a huge difference. Take the most distracting apps that are on your phone, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, your email, and remove them from your home screen. You're not deleting them, you're just making them harder to access. So instead of mindlessly clicking, you have to consciously search for them. It adds a few seconds of friction, which, like we talked about, those obstacles just add another barrier to access. Often that small delay is just enough time for our brain to ask, wait, do I actually want to open this, or am I opening it out of habit? I like to think of this as adding in a little speed bump. You don't need to block the road, you just need something to slow you down enough to make a different choice. Another tactic I do use if I'm finding that that still isn't enough to keep me off my phone is I will delete the apps off of my phone and only let myself access them on a computer. I find that a way less fun and clunky experience than just scrolling on your phone, especially apps like TikTok and Instagram. So it takes away the compulsion to continuously check, but I still can check in if I need to for work things or see what my friends online are doing. So deleting them off your phone is of course always an option. Most of the time, you're not actually reaching for your phone because you want to scroll. There's a deeper emotion going on. You're bored, you're anxious, you're feeling lonely, and you don't know what else to do. So instead of telling yourself, just stop, ask yourself, what do I really need right now? If you're bored, can you try a hands-on activity like doing a puzzle, a craft, paint, cook, doodle? If you're feeling anxious, can you move your body? Can you brain dump everything that's going on in your head? Can you call a friend? Can you take care of something? Can you go pet your dog or water your plants? If you're feeling lonely, can you call a friend? Send someone a voice note, go outside and feel connected to nature. So many of us are exhausted, we're burnt out, we're running on empty, and it feels like scrolling is the only thing that we can access. But rest isn't just the absence of work. It's about doing things that actually restore you. If you're feeling like you're stuck in burnt out, I have an entire video on recovering from burnt out, so make sure you watch that one next. Nothing's impossible, but it's very hard to scroll on your phone when your hands are full. So give yourself something to do. Hands-on activities help to calm the nervous system. They bring you into the present and make it so much easier to stay off your phone. And it doesn't have to be aesthetic or impressive, just something tactile, something that roots you into real life. So you could bake something that's been pinned on your Pinterest board. You could journal or color, clean or organize a drawer, make jewelry, do a puzzle, play with clay, hold a book in your hands instead of a screen. These are underrated regulation tools, and they're one of the most effective ways to regain your ability to pay attention. We've mentioned it a few times, but nighttime scrolling is really what I hear and what I've personally experienced to be the hardest habit to break. Your eyes will be so tired, literally feel like they're bleeding, but you can't stop scrolling. Setting a phone bedtime has been one of the most important changes I've made. Mine is 9 p.m. After 9 p.m., my phone is done for the day. It went to bed already. And yes, sometimes I do want to keep scrolling, but I remind myself of the promise that I made to myself. And more importantly, I use the app blocker so I cannot get into it. You need structure and repetition. And an app blocker that kicks in at 9:01 is even better. Charge your phone in the different room. Get yourself an alarm clock. That is always the holdup that I hear from people, is that they use it for their alarm. Alarm clocks are cheap, or you can get the expensive ones that do the sunset colors. I do have that and I do love it, but you don't need it. Create a real unwind routine so you can set yourself up for a really good, high quality night of sleep, which will make your nervous system feel more regulated, so that then the next day it's easier for you to make better habits and decisions that will keep you off your phone. See how it's all just this crazy cycle? This one is less flashy, less fun, but essential. Audit your screen time. Go into your settings, look at your screen time, and check how many hours of your day are you spending on your phone? How many times are you picking up your phone? What time is your first pickup? And then ask yourself, is this the type of day that I want to be having? Is this the type of day that my best self would do? When I think about how I want to live my life, when I multiply how many hours over the course of a week, over a month, over a year I am spending on this device, is that aligned with my goals and values? Once you are honest about where your time is going, you can set new boundaries. And when you have a really strong why and a strong vision of what you want your day to look like, it becomes a lot easier to not include the phone. The last strategy is to create phone zones. Decide where in your home, where in your day your phone does not belong. For me, my phone does not come into my bed. At night, it charges in another room out of sight. Another rule that I have, I work from home, which can be hard to disconnect from technology, especially when it's part of your job. But on my lunch breaks, I leave my phone in my office and I close the door and I go have my lunch break somewhere else. This really helps to create these tech-free pockets of time in your day. It gives your nervous system a little bit of space. It can reset a little bit, and you stop living in constant reaction and stimulation mode. Start small with this. It doesn't need to be perfect. Pick one phone-free zone this week and stick to it. This is another great barrier to using your phone without being so restrictive that you can never use it. By limiting your use to certain rooms, you create boundaries around the device that in turn let you feel more free. If you've made it this far, I just want to say that you are doing something really important right now. You're being intentional about your attention. And that's one of the most powerful things that you can do for your mental health. You don't need to quit your phone, go live in the woods, delete every app. That's not the goal. The goal is choice. Being able to say, this is what I need right now, and actually giving that to yourself instead of reaching for a distraction. When your nervous system is already running on fumes, scrolling can feel the only thing that you have the energy to do. But that quick dopamine hit comes at a cost. You deserve actual rest, restoration, not a digital numbing session. If this video made you realize that maybe your phone use is actually tied to deeper burnout or emotional depletion, definitely check out the burnout recovery video. It walks you through a gentle plan to regain your energy and feel like yourself again. I hope it gives you so much clarity and momentum to get started. Let me know down below, what strategy are you gonna try first? And are there any that you use that I didn't mention? If you want more tools like this, please hit subscribe. I upload new videos every week all about anxiety, nervous system regulation, and building better habits in your real life. I hope this helps you to scroll smarter. Remember that your phone doesn't control your life. You do. Until next time, I'm rooting for you every step of the way.